silence.
What's going on, you guys, and welcome to session 6 of our new campaign, where we've titled it something different, but Elysium is the name that we have on YouTube. The Antiquariums and the Hunt for the Magical Artifacts is the official name of the campaign. Six sessions in, finally came out with the name for it, so you're welcome, everyone. Welcome. We're so glad that you guys have joined us today. Can we have our antiquarians? Can we go ahead and have you guys introduce yourselves and who you're playing?
Hi, I'm Mojo, and I play Shonen Gold, who is a young human barbarian man.
I'm Fritos. I play Raven Falcor. I'm a half-elf druid bartender. Yeah.
I'm Tech Stallion, and I'm going to be playing Hydox Truebolt. He's a gnome artificer.
And I'm Captain Earth.
Every
He
time.
commits to it.
Every
Nothing
time
else.
it's the same.
Consistency is key.
Exactly.
And then our last member.
I'm Raymond Goldeye.
Nice.
And apologies in someone who is not consistent with his accent.
Nah, you guys do great. I love it. And I'm Matt, Matty Ice, and I get to be your humble dungeon master, and I'm thankful. So, a little recap for the last session. A wonderful group of adventurers narrowly escaped the clutches of Mr. Wilhelm with only two, Dr. Wilhelm, sorry, I wrote Mr., but Dr. Wilhelm, with only two fallen friends. These friends had a series of weird visions, all ending with a mysterious guy who claimed to be the one above them all. They recognized that they were not in a good place to sit around and chit-chat as the village came to inspect the aftermath of the burning of the village, or the burning of the manor. They ended up taking the young halfling woman to a nearby city known as the Nesting Grounds Crossing, where they meet an elven cleric woman who sends them on a quest to hunt down a multicolored lily. They gather the gang up after a night of drinking and head off into the Elder Woods. They then discover some weird multicolored eggs. They collected a few until discovering a golden egg. They inspect it, and upon further investigation of it, they fall down into a burrow to meet a cute, fluffy bunny. That bunny turned out to be not so cute when it began to try to feast on their bones. Our heroes slayed the beast and began to head back to town, but not before Randman getting a terrible-looking bite. And that is where we ended our last session, was on our route to there. You guys had just arrived back into the village itself. Again, some of the notable things within this village. There's the clinic, which I'm assuming you guys are going to be heading straight there. There's a tavern, a blacksmith, and like a marketplace shop area. So as you guys head, back into village, head off into the clinic, you see the clinic. It's only been a day and a half, 2 days of time since you guys have left. A little over 2 days, actually, I think is what I had on the timer. And you guys have arrived in the clinic. You see the clinic is now begin to slowly continue to overrun with more and more patients. As you guys walk into the doors, you guys see there's patients kind of lying all over the place. There doesn't seem to be any room at all in this clinic. So as you guys are rushing, just imagine, I think we said it last session too, but episode of like MASH or Grey's Anatomy, you see there's just tons and tons of people all over the place. And that's where you guys find the beginning. What do you guys, I assume you guys are going to go looking for
The lady.
The lady, yeah. I didn't give her a name yet. If you ask her, she has a name. I didn't tell you guys her name yet. But yes, the head doctor, the elven cleric woman. You see her, she's hands deep inside somebody as she's trying to bring them back to life surgically. She's got blood all over her apron, and she's working triage. She's barking elven orders, screaming as things are happening. And you guys walk in.
I assume it's crowded, so Hydox would be very he can't really make it through. Actually, yeah, I'm not in the armor, so I'd be urging. We need to get these. We need to get these to the cleric.
I got you. And I'll pick up Tydox and I'll put Tydox on my shoulder, and I'm gonna kind of go through the crowds to bring Tydox over to the Nightingale.
Make way, make way.
As you're walking, what is your passive perception again? I think I have it all written down.
11.
Do you notice that she's in the middle of an operation?
Yeah, she is literally in the middle of an operation, yes, for some other patient. But you also notice a lot of the people that are conscious, you notice that they... conscious, yeah. As they are awake, you notice that they are all looking at you with fear in their eyes. Specifically you, as you're walking in. You get to the lady. She's getting elbows deep inside somebody, trying to rescue them. She's got the full-on surgical mask, and she's casting all sorts of clerical magic on her. She's like, "Oh yes, you've made it back. Great job." As she's tying through the gastral intestines of somebody who's bleeding out all over the place, and she just looks super calm, and this is an everyday thing for her.
And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put Tydoc back on the ground, and then I can speak to her. Look, we found the lilies that you were looking for. We can tell that you're a little busy.
Yes, perfect. And she's just tying, stitching through thing, and she looks at you and she says, just set them over there, and I'll get back with her. She's actually made quite a bit of progress. We've actually been able to extend her life a little bit longer. You guys made it perfectly in time. I'll get back to her. And she looks up, and then she sees that the guy dies, and she's like, "Well, now," and she just kind of slides the patient off to the edge, and she's just starts cleaning up her wounds, and she's or not her wounds, but she starts cleaning up the blood on her body, and she puts down her surgical mask, and she's like, bring her in. And the rest of the people just kind of toss the body off into a separate room, never to be seen again, as they swing back in and bring the girl who looks lifeless. They bring her in to this, and so she begins to work on her with the color lily. She cuts it up into a bunch of pieces and starts doing some spray, some magical things. And she just takes 3 of the 5 lilies. She actually gives you guys back the 2 multicolored lilies petals. So she uses the 3 to then cast this sort of druidic clerical magic on this person. And the lady begins to breathe, the young halfling woman. She's still unconscious, but she begins to take in a fresh air as she stabilizes. And then the elven clerical woman, she takes a seat back, and she's like, saved another life. Great day it is today. We're only one dead so far, so it's a pretty good day.
6 in the morning, probably.
It's very early in the morning.
Gives a complete shower.
She's like, we saved one today. This is good.
What a
We
great
saved
start.
one.
And does Ert speak Elvish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but is she speaking in common, or is she still
it's broken common. So basically she speaks common, but it's in with a very thick elven accent. Imagine a French speaker from Canada who knows English, but English isn't their first language.
Ert, you should thank her. I can't communicate as well unless it's medical. But you should tell her that we very much appreciate her help with this, and we
Then
have the
I'm
extra supplies.
And then I'm gonna look over to say in her Elvish tongue, "Dobre den I koresha."
What do you say in Elvish for her? I mean, I don't know Elvish, so me, the DM, doesn't know Elvish. I'm sorry.
It's actually Russian.
Oh, good. It's not even French, which is great. I love it.
No, but basically, I just say, thank you, and if there's anything else we can do to help, please let us know.
She sits down for a second, to get some fresh air after one person dies, and she saves the other person. She's like, well, and then she looks at the long list of injured bodies that are around, and she's like, if you know any medical things, we could definitely use the Pav hands.
I know a few medical things, and Tydox might be able to fix some of your equipment if any of it needs, but we do have a couple of things, yeah.
I thought you were gonna throw me in with the bow.
Have
the right tools, Ert.
I've heard of the concept of medicine.
Yes.
Not blood. I'm confused.
I mean, if you got any wounds, I can pour some alcohol on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of you guys roll a medicine check, Captain in Raven, and then Tydox for you if you want to help build some stuff for her. Maybe just a flat intelligence check, probably.
I hit a 9.
Check.
I got 15.
Yeah, an intelligence check, just to see what all you can find to actually.
Roll it.
Keep rolling.
You rolled a 15, and then you rolled
a 9 for me.
a 9. You start to.
It's D&D Beyond. I should just stop.
Yeah, it's fine. So Raven, you start pouring. You're just swinging by, and you're like, I'm kind of like a doctor, I can help people. You're swinging by, and describe to me how you're just you're basically pouring drinks for all these people. You're not really helping them out, but you're easing the pain a little
bit. I'm giving them a nice shot of something, and then for the ones that have open wounds, I'm literally just pouring moonshine, just really high percentage alcohol, as close to rubbing alcohol but still being a drink, just pouring it in the wounds, thinking I'm helping.
Yeah, they're all screaming in pain as you're doing this, and the elven woman, she's like, it's better than whatever, she's just marking down names as this is going on, just she's like, it's fine, it's whatever.
Happy to help, mates.
Tydox, you see with your 7, you see a lot. There's a lot of broken tools around, and you can certainly begin to start fixing things. And you could do it in your way, maybe not in the way that would make sense for it. Again, you could probably think of some medical tools or things that may be able to help in this situation. I may be able to do some other things with it, but essentially you make a lot of tools that again are far beyond this time period, right? So modern day medicine is not here, but you make things that are modern day medicine and stuff of that nature.
We're gonna try to do something that's trivial, but since we have feats of mending, we're gonna use some mending on some of their tools, and instead of I'm sure they have syringes that have the lines and stuff on them, but they've been worn away, so now they're digital gauges. Me and Artie have just gone through and just all right, well, this obviously doesn't work, so instead of trying to remember what line is what, it's just gonna spit out a number of what's in it.
Sweet. Yeah, and so you begin to make again, they have a balance scale almost. So that's how like an abacus almost of like how they're calculating, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you pull out like the modern day computer essentially, and you're like, here this is. And she just looks at it like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? In our day, it's like, this of course makes sense, but in her, she's like, what the hell? I don't even know how to read this. But she's just like, thanks a lot. That sure.
Yeah.
Tadux is like, I fucking did this. Yeah.
She can't read comics. She can barely speak it.
She barely speaks. Yeah, she can. She's just like, thanks for giving me this thing that makes no sense. And then Captain Earth, with your 15, you actually do the most help. You begin to, if you want to describe kind of how you're helping these people, you do a good job of helping probably like 5 or 6 of the patients around. Some of them are, slashed open. There's burn wounds. If you guys are curious about what's been going on too, I'll have you roll for something else. But yeah, you see that there's a lot of very serious injuries going on.
A little point of order before we keep rolling things.
Oh.
We still have 1 level of exhaustion,
No?
so our checks are with disadvantage.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Just in case.
But what I'll probably start doing is, since I'm able to heal just with a little bit. What Captain Urge's gonna be going around doing is basically going around to any of the wounds, kind of, because he's got cure wounds too. But he does have a little bit of the magic prowess. What Captain Urge's gonna go do is place his hands, go around healing some of the individuals that he can, is able to bandage some of them up, like field bandage.
Yeah.
But what Captain Urge's gonna do next, he's gonna kind of find Tydox, probably near some of the equipment that he's going to. And then I'm walking over to Tydox while kind of, seeing some of the equipment that he's working on, while kind of helping out some of the individuals also. And then I'm looking at Tydox. Was it worth saving that lady?
Well, I imagine we saved her, but we did the best that we could, right? We did, right?
Was it worth lighting me on fire?
You're fine. That wasn't the worst that's happened to you, I'm sure.
Yeah, it wasn't the
we can
worst that's
definitely
happened
fix
to me.
You're
Yeah.
definitely a party
It's
individual.
nice to know you have such little regard for my life, though, that you think that this young woman is so much more important to me that you'd be willing to grease me and then light me on fire, though.
It might
we knew
have
we
been
could
the
take care
better
of you.
thing.
We knew we could definitely take care of you.
Oh, did you now?
Fire's a lot more
interesting,
easy
'cause-
than a mysterious illness.
Yeah, so much so that though you're willing to forego your comrades for this, though. Awfully easily swaying, aren't you? We're supposed to be in this together for the next, 16 months or so, but so little regard you have for us, I guess, is my concern, Tydox.
Well, I'm sorry you saw it that way, but it was a calculated risk that we took, and it paid off. We are all
No,
still
that
here.
you took. After I just got blown up in a building, saving your ass. So no, I think it was a calculated risk that we were willing to take. Now, I think this is real cute of all you doing this shit. Go ahead, run it up. Maybe you want to ask them why the fuck their asses are getting beat so bad that they're in here in the first place. Maybe we need to get the hell out of here. But go on, do what you're gonna do. I would like, though, give me that fucking bow and give me that fucking sword, because this ain't yours. It's gonna be mine, because you lit me on fire twice now. How about that sounding?
I'd also like to talk about the loot specifically. What are we going to do about the egg?
Yeah, those are ours too. You can give him to Ramen, though. I think he's probably a pretty good cook.
I want the gold one.
The gold one.
Mate, you can have all of them.
Well,
Also-
sure, we can talk about that. Do we want to do that here? We could, of course, do it here. Divvying up our
No,
loot.
we're not talking right now. You're just gonna give me those things, and I'm gonna leave. Ramen can do what he wants. I'm gonna go to bed, though. But y'all have fun here.
Shove off one of the corpses. Sleep in a medical bed.
I'm out.
Ert was gonna lay into to Tydox, but after seeing Shonen be like, he's just kind of staying back, like trying to look intimidating, but he's like, "Yeah, you said enough."
Yeah. Gosh, I love it.
I don't know how you stuff out of a bag of holding, or if I have to like role play like fidgeting around for it. But
I wasn't sure if I needed to like roll intimidation. I'm not sure if you are intimidated. That's the thing. It's like that's why I was like, we can.
Boy, since
yeah.
my ass already got lit on fire too, does that mean I get one of the things?
Yeah. Shell was like, yeah. Once I get it from him, I'm not keeping these things. I don't need them. But he's about to try to melt these down. I can tell. I was like, if we don't get it from him now, he's gonna turn it into medical equipment.
Well, I'm on your team now.
If your loved one's been caught in an accident, find help.
You're entitled to compensation. Yes, from Tie Dogs. You've been hurt by Tie Dogs. Yes, as you guys are yelling at Tie Dogs, in the middle of this clinic, the elven woman, she kind of looks at you guys and she's like, I love the bickering and all, but as you can see, I have lots of people to try to save. It's only 8 a.m., but hopefully I can save some more. I'm already one, so it's a pretty good day so far, if I do say so myself. I'm on a hot streak right now, but if you guys could yell somewhere else where I'm not, as you just hear more people start coming in, and she just is like,
where are all these people coming from? Why are they all so... Is there like a war, a battle? What's going on here?
Don't you know? It's the Feral Flatlands are right over there. We're the last safe spot for anybody that comes in, and well, we're the only neutral spot. And well, I get the lucky job of saving people, as my mistress would call it. Yep, I'm doing a pretty good job. You know, she's saying all this like very sarcastically, as she's just like, basically her job is making people feel comfortable dying, is essentially what she's been doing for the past. She's understaffed. Her town is very small, and there's just a ton of people who continue to come in. And she's like, oh, you know, I try to tell everybody never to go over to the Feral Flatlands, but they just don't listen to, you know, pretty old me, but that's all right. Yeah, again, Captain Erd, again, with your, what I was mentioning earlier, you see that anybody who's conscious is like looking at you specifically with horror in their eyes. And I don't know if you react to this at all, but as she's talking and mentioning all this stuff, it'd be a good time to ask about it too.
Well, you'll never believe what we're about to do.
I know. I'm not too terribly, because it's happened all of my life. I'm a big old scary dragon, so Captain Erd is kind of unfazed by everyone looking at him.
Gotcha. Yeah, and she just mentions, basically that there's a fucking, the great worm, the hellfire worm, has plagued the lands of the Feral Flatlands. There's orcs who come in and who are decapitating people and trying to eat their bones, and these are the ones that are lucky enough not to survive immediately. You know, anybody who's get captured, she's basically just telling you, she's like nonchalant about this, right? You know, like that's just like an everyday occurrence for her, you know, but she's basically just sharing with you the horrors of the western side of the map, and how there's like, you know, toxic fumes, there's, you know, man-eating birds, there's like horrible creatures who come in and eat, and those are like the good things in the place. And then she's like, you know, but if you ever run into the dragon, or you ever even attempt to go to Mount Ignis at all, like, good fucking luck, basically, is all she's saying to you guys. Is she's sharing all these things, and she's like, yeah, you know, I mean, it's up to you guys. Yeah, it's fucking adorable. So
she's asleep.
Yeah. All while I'm talking about all this horrific.
That's why Randman's just got a puppy. He's like, I'm fine. I'm oblivious to everything.
Yeah. You also see that she's exhausted. She's through all this stuff, and then she looks at you, Captainer, and she's like, you know, one thing I do want to mention. You know, I haven't seen. I've been here a long time, and you know, you're the first one I've ever seen walk around among us. Are you friend or foe, really? You've done me a good job, so I can't really complain too hard, but I've never seen one of you that walks among us.
If I was your foe, you would know by now.
Fair enough, I guess.
He would have missed a big longsword attack on you. It would have been right over your head. But you would have seen it.
Shut up, Show.
All right, so she, you know, she's exhausted and she wipes, you know, and she's like wiping the sweat off her brow and she's like, I should probably get back to it, but I thank you for your service. This treatment is on the house, of course. Do you have any other news or anything else? Feel free, and I'll send the young halfling your way whenever she wakes up.
Yeah, just send her to the Feral Flatlands.
So that's where you're headed. Are you headed there next?
I think we're gonna go rest by the bar. We've got something to discuss, and we'll stay there the night, and then we'll decide from there. But have her meet us at the bar. Everybody, let's go.
Yeah, she wipes the sweat and she's like, well, good luck if you guys head to the Feral Flatlands. I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Zero.
And then I'm gonna start walking. I don't know if anyone else is gonna, but I'm gonna start walking towards outside.
Cho would be ahead of you. Already was leaving, like bag of holding in his hands, looking in it, trying to pull things out. I think as he goes.
Wait, did Cho grab the bag?
I don't know that if I got it or not.
I don't think you would have
I
needed.
don't know. Tydox.
I'm pretty sure Tydox would have like him and
Just
Archie
handed
probably
it
would have
me.
been a little fiery, and he would have just like opened the bag and tried to rifle through it, and Archie's, you know, begrudgingly giving these things out. I'm like, just give it. They earned it. It's like, what are we gonna do with these things?
Archie's...
I think so Sho's like rummaging through it, and I think he's like he pulled, you know, once you get outside, Sho pulls out like the golden egg and he like gives it to Randman, and then he pulls out the bow and he's just like, who wants this? I don't. But Tydox ain't having it no more.
We only have one range fighter.
Sounds good. I think it's Raymond. It probably should go to you, but
yeah, just put it on top of the egg. I'll take it.
And I put it with the egg.
You see, Raymond, you see the longbow is the exact same size as you as well, too. So you know, it's very long. It's the longbow, so it's very big.
Anytime he uses it, he can anchor it to the ground.
Yeah, he's got to anchor it. It's like the great bows from like Elden Ring or like Dark Souls. You slam it on the ground and just. And I'll give you stats and stuff too when you guys all mix it up. Raven,
on the way out,
something. Yeah.
On the way out, because she was nice enough to do the surgery for free or whatever. I like, I'll give her a tip. So I take like 5 gold coins and I put them in something, but it's like I think it's like a tip jar, but it's just something that's completely unsanitized and has like blood
like
and stuff in
teapot
it.
or something like that.
You put 5 gold and basically like a thing, like a vat of like medicine, like, you know, like morphine or, you know, like of that nature, of, you know, like something that is very helpful for her to use, and you essentially just like toss it in there and you're like, thanks, you know, and you're trying to be a nice gesture, and she looks over and she's just like, all right, well, you can just throw that whole thing out. It's fine. You can't use that anymore, but that's
I'm not drunk, but I'm a little bit buzzed because while I was giving out
You're
shots, I was like having a couple of like cheers with people.
Yeah, there's some people that are happy. You know, there's some people that are like, hey, hell yeah, dude. But a lot of the ones you just are pouring alcohol on, they're miserable. And they're like, what the fuck was this party doing? As you guys walk out, you're high-fiving. You're like, hey, we did it, guys. We helped these people.
Go take.
Yeah, you guys head out, and I think Ert said towards the bar, but is that where you guys are all headed? And there's a couple other places within town, but if you guys head back over to the tavern, you guys can sit and talk again, but there's also like a blacksmith. There's a marketplace.
I
kind of a
think
few
maybe
things.
I think Shell would head to the tavern first.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I say we follow, or I'd follow Captain to the tavern and
Sweet.
plan out our next moves.
So it's a couple days later, as you guys walk into the tavern, everyone is shirtless as you walk in. It was like a bottomless day the first time you guys had walked in. So this is a topless day. You guys happen to show up, and a lot of people are just shirtless, hanging out. The bartender again is, shirtless. He's a gigantic orc. You haven't seen very many orc. Again, is what I mentioned before. He's got a tiny little top hat. On his, he's like a 7 foot tall, 300-pound behemoth, and everything you've known about orcs is that they are like cannibals, and they are horrifying creatures. So he's just chilling, tiny little hat, and he's like, "Hi, good to see you guys made it again."
Oh, thanks, sir. Do we need to take off our shirts to be in here today, or is that like optional?
It's just topless Thursday, just whatever.
Oh, okay, just a casual thing. Okay, I didn't want to, be breaking no rules.
I mean, you could take your shirt off if you want. I don't really control it. They just start showing up and start doing things. I don't know. I just serve drinks. I don't know. And she says, "Show takes his shirt off." I think I saw.
I
Raven.
blends in.
Yeah, Raven's already.
Oh my god. Show is just like covered in scars. You see like the fresh like burn wounds all over him from not only the partially healed ones, but the fresh new one.
Well,
I did it, honestly.
This isn't my shirt. This is the scars from the burning.
Yeah. Nice.
It's polyester just melted to me.
Sweet. Yeah, and you guys sink over. There's a little table off to the corner. There's the high top of the bar. You guys can sit kind of wherever you want. But yeah, this is a good time for you guys to discuss upcoming events, share things, talk to the bartender if you want as well, to ask about the world. I mean, point of order, Ramen, you said you have the golden egg now and the longbow. If you're still dishing out things in the bag of holding, there is more than just the party items that have been there. Do you take anything else out of the bag of holding?
No, I'm not going to take any of Tydox's other stuff. I think what Joe is best going to do is he pulls out the longsword and he's like, "I don't know what y'all want to do with this, but here you go." And then I think Joe like looks through the rest of it and he's just like, it's not like his stuff. Like he's like, "Okay, we got more eggs. That's good for later. Might maybe make a nice little omelet. We're hungry on the road." And then I think he like ties it back up and he like shoves it into Tydox's chest and he looks at him and he says, "I am not a tool. I am a human being, and you will not cheat me as a tool that you can light on fire or do what you very well will. So as long as you treat me as a human going forward, we're gonna be A-okay. But if you think you can use me in your ploys and your plots, that ain't gonna happen. So we got understanding going on here?"
It sounds like a fair arrangement.
Okay, I think we got that all settled then. Well, I'm gonna go ask the barkeeper some questions if you guys are gonna stay here and make merry or go to bed. I'm getting kind of tired, to be honest, but
It's also
whatever you wanna
very
do.
early in the morning.
We didn't sleep though all night, right?
Yeah.
You didn't sleep
We
all
are
night.
We are
Right.
exhausted.
Yeah.
So,
Exhaustion level 1.
yeah. It's
I'm
probably
gonna-
like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. in the morning, as you guys
I assume it's just
yeah.
everyone in the bar is just people from last night.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
haven't gone home yet. I'm gonna pick up the
already-
sword.
What probably really has happened is that they were just chilling, drinking, and they begun to take their shirts off. And then the bartender's like, "I don't know, it's just topless Thursday." Like people just start taking the shirts off. So you guys probably could assume that they're just like fucking drunk and they're like, God damn, I gotta take my shirt off. It's hot.
I like to think that the bartender was like, "Hey, if you're gonna have your shirts off, you got to put your pants back on. We can't both go
Yeah.
on."
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
If you want to be doing that over, you gotta put your britches back on.
We're in a
Trying
respectable
to get some
establishment
order
here.
in the bar, and he's just like, "Ah, fuck it, shirt's fine, I guess."
Yeah.
Oh, gee. Oh,
Yeah. So do you guys go to like the high tops, or do you guys go to like a chair or the table? Are you guys sitting in like a circle, or what's kind of the arrangement of things that are going on?
Where did
So
Ert
Captain
sit
Ernst,
down?
yeah, I was like, well, Captain Ernst
Whoever
probably
was
just gonna
first, yeah.
grab the sword. It's just gonna grab the sword, like, look, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and go around and just kind of like sheath it right now, and then.
Oi, Captain! If you miss with that thing 3 times, I'm taking it from you.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Raven brings up a good point.
Cool.
And then,
Uh,
look, I think we've all earned a drink after Tydoc has tried killing all of us.
I'll say you get his
He
name wrong
he
too.
did what he wanted to do. He saved that girl. It all turned out fine. But I think we just have to have a modicum of reality of the situation. Is that we're gonna be working together for a long time. And I don't want to be lit on fire anymore. Okay, now that we got that settled. and then I think Sho would go up to the bar and get drinks. And then Sho would also like to talk to the bartender.
So
And then I
we'll
would
do
say-
the show here in a second, but we'll everyone else tell me what you're doing. And...
I was like, before Sho leaves, maybe Sho already left, but I was gonna say the group was like, we do need to find out our next group, and we probably need to get some more supplies. I don't know. I can just run out and go grab them, or if you guys all want to go soon together to go grab them.
Well,
What?
I need to hit up the market anyways to get some stuff for drinks, so
Okay.
I'm down to go with you.
Raymond.
I'm just kind of well, Raymond actually he's been having fun with the golden egg, but it's kind of heavy and he's been carrying around a bit, so he's just gonna give it back to Tydox and put it in the bag.
do you inspect the golden egg at all, or do you just look at it and like, nice, this is mine. It's
Just like-
fucking massive, but he's like, all right, I'm giving this back to Tydox, but it's mine. Just fucking know it's mine.
His like
great.
eye is
I've
like
had fun.
freaking out probably, and he just is like, I reject this information. Like I'm not processing it.
He gives it back. He also someone slaps him on the ass when he walks in.
Oh yes, the 2 guys. You see, Raymond, you see the 2 guys from the other night still there. They're shirtless and they just kind of smile and wave at you as you walk by, and yeah, absolutely slaps you on the ass, and you're just like that's weird. I don't know, what the heck is happening there. Yeah. So point of order, Raymond, you gave back the golden egg. And again, you did not investigate it. You didn't look at it at all.
I mean he ogled it.
All right, roll me an investigation with advantage, since again with your eye you can look at it.
Advantage. Boom.
On
11.
11.
It's
You
very
notice
pretty.
it's golden, right? Some things about it that look a little different for you. You don't know much about it. Again, 11's not too high, but out of all the other multicolored eggs, this one looks way different. It looks like an entirely different thing.
It's gold.
It's golden. Yeah, I don't know if you would put this together, but the egg itself is different. It's made of different material, like and it almost kind of feels alive. And that's all you really notice about it. You can see that it kind of like wiggles a little bit, and that's what you're like, that's weird, you know? And your eyes basically like twitching as it's doing this, and you're like, is this my eye or is this the egg that's moving? I can't tell the difference.
It's already dry. He's just drunk from the fumes at the bar.
Yeah, he's like, neat. Here's this weird thing. He hands it back to Tydox.
That gets gold.
Yeah.
It's mine.
Good. Yeah, and so the rest of you guys you start heading up to the bartender. Bartender's like, "Oi, what it'll be?"
Well, first, can we get around a grog for my table over there? And then I also have some question about what's going on around these parts.
"Oi, you want to do the same thing you did last time?" As he like looks over at his tip jar that's completely full of gold from the last time that you guys were here, and he's sitting there. He's like,
I'm not sure we're gonna go that hard, but yeah, we'll start off with the same as last night.
all right. He's like, "This one will be on the house," and he pours you guys 5 drinks, and he looks at Captain Ert and he pulls out the jar of milk from the last time that he drank. He was like, "This one's extra unpasteurized just for him." And, yeah, and then you said you
kindly, sir.
yeah, you said
I was just wondering, all these people that are coming in, they're slashed to hell, and they just keep on saying Feral Flatlands over and over again. But what exactly is over there?
You haven't heard? Feral Flatlands. Nasty place it is. There's a few things there that are well, less than savory.
Is it
Across
really
this bridge,
flat?
he sees you.
What did you say?
It says
Is it really
flat.
Oh,
He's like 7 foot tall, and you're like 3 foot, and you like come up and climb up on this, the bar stool, and he looks over and he's like, "Yes, very flat."
I've still got the bow just dangling around my neck.
Yeah, it's the size of you as well, so you're holding it up. And yeah, he basically mentions how the across the way is the miasmic marshes, and how that they're full of toxic fumes and poisonous water, and that as you're leaving the bridge and you're going out there, that like that's probably going to be the first thing that kills you is the fumes and the toxins in the air. And if you happen to make it past there, you go into you run into orcs, and he's an orc, but he's like, you run into other people of my kind, and how they're cannibals, and he's like, I've learned to stop eating people, and he's more of a vegetarian at this point. He's a vegan orc, pretty much.
just like super obnoxious, like.
Yes. He's telling you just how nasty, like things that people that he's like, you're really like killing other people, and like how wrong that is, how like they're murderers, and he's like talking down on the other people, and he's like, not me, I would never do that.
Not me, not Hermione.
I care about the animals.
We do also notice the bar menu at this point is completely vegan.
Yeah. You guys start to look at the food, and it's like all like meat replacement stuff, so it's like that he can still enjoy meat, but he's like, that replacement meat. I mean, so he
None of it's like a salad. It's all meat replacement strictly.
It's all meat replacement. Yes, like Impossible burgers, like stuff like that, and yeah, everyone seems to really like the food here, or they're like, it's the least we can do is eat it here, and but then he continues to talk about the Feral Flatlands and how like life itself there just can't grow. There's no like regular foresty areas or like foliage in that like land. That's why they call it the Flatlands, because it's just completely barren and a big wasteland. He then goes and says, hey, if you continue to go past there, you enter into Mount Ignis, and at that point you're pretty much fucked. There's a dragon there known as the Great Hellfire Worm, who sole purpose is chaos, and it's the scariest thing. If you've seen it in real life, the high chances are that you're dead already. And he basically is telling you all this stuff about how it's the biggest thing. He's like he's never seen it, of course, but he's telling you this like big story about how he's heard that it's like takes up the entire sky as it flies through the air. It people have seen shadows and all this other stuff that he's talking about, how like if the dragon doesn't get you, then it'll be like the imps from the nine hells and all this other stuff. And he's talking about like demons and other things that live here. And he's like, all around, it's just a terrible place to be. So that's on that side.
I like it.
And then he kind of tells you that this area is, the last safe spot on this side. That this is kind of like it's a popular city, but it's basically like the edge of the Andriel's land, and that they're thankful for like the Elven leadership, but they're also so far away at this point that they don't really like govern anything down here. And that's basically the other things. I mean, you can roll again for other information, but that's a lot of what he talks about. There are obviously still more things that he knows, so if you want to know more, but that's kind of the lore dump about the west side of this place and how extremely dangerous it is, and then how Andriel is a good kingdom, but its rule is very little over here on this side because it's so far away.
I think Sho probably would have kind of elbowed Captain Ert and been like, Hellfire Worm. I was like, is that your cousin? And then he just kind of would have walked away. Yeah, and
I would just kind of look at Sho and go.
No wonder everybody's giving you funny looks. You've terrorized them all straight to hell, basically. So I think that would have. I'm trying to see what Sho would want to do. I think we're going to be heading east after this. You know anything about going on that way?
How far east are you going? There's a lot out there.
Try to go to Heaven's Ascent.
Do you pull out the map and show him?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I have it though. Sho also can't read, but I think he would be pointing a bit like that. We're going to that.
So just to get the proper picture, the bartender's surrounding us the table. Sho's not by himself at the bar talking to the barkeep, right?
Yeah, the bartender basically has come to you guys, and you guys are all kind of in this area together as he kind of called the bartender over to get you guys drinks and other stuff. So the bartender's there with you guys, kind of chilling, and he's brought you all these drinks, and as you're asking all these questions, yeah.
Okay.
So if you have the map and show him, you circle Heaven's Ascent. Essentially, what he tells you is, "Oh, it's a nasty place. It is. If I was smart, I'd avoid there as well. You guys must be crazy adventurers if you're heading out that way. You sure do like dragons."
Sure do like dragons. Oh, so there's one over there too.
Aye, the Jade Wyvern. Last I heard is she took over that place and let's just say made it her own. I don't know much about this because they don't tell me any of the smart things, but last I heard was it was an elven sanctuary. The old doctor, the cleric, old Dr. Elizabeth, she would know more about that area. She's actually from Andriel. She's our local representative here. She could tell you all sorts of information if you could peel her away from her work at some point. But
Elizabeth.
Yeah, she's a sweet old gal, she is. As he continues to talk about it, he says basically that area is connected with Andriel. It's all he knows about it, and that there's a dragon who has occupied that space. And if you have any other questions about anything else on the map, he could, if he knows information, he could tell you.
I would pop in and I'd look at him and so we'd have two places that have dragons. Do you happen to know anyone?
Sorry, you cut out after the two dragons.
Can you hear? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll look up to him and says, So you've pointed out 2 areas where there's dragons. Do you know any other locations where there might be, or any other individuals who might know either dragons or
Yeah.
special objects or powerful artifacts or rumors and myths?
It's my job to know the happenings that go on. I do know there's a couple other locations. There's 4 main dragons, or 5 rather. It's gone up to there's 5 main dragons that have been known to terrorize these lands. And he pulls out. You guys have. I'm assuming you guys have pulled out your map at this point, but he basically circles on the map Mount Ignis. He tells you he's the Great Hellfire Worm. Nasty beast. He's already kind of mentioned it before, but it's this horrifying dragon, primordial dragon that basically is said to be as large as the sky itself. And if you've seen it, then it's already too late. He mentions right next to it in the Strait of Scylla is a blue dragon that is even bigger than the red one. But it is said to live underwater, so not very many people have seen it. It's only kind of like a legend or a mystery. He also tells you that Strait of Scylla itself is a monster-infested place, kind of like the Bermuda Triangle of our world. Things go there and don't come back. So he's telling you, like, hey, avoid these spots. He tells you Heaven's Ascent is the Jade Wyvern. And he tells you that this one basically is he tells you that this one is like, occupied this space. And then he tells you the Badlands up in the northeastern, the Black area, the Scorched Coastlands, that whole area. He tells you it's the Black Behemoth, and said to blend in the northeast, like the Badlands.
Badlands, okay.
Yeah. He tells you that there's the Black Behemoth, who's said to, walk in the, blend in with the ground itself. And then he says that the last one, the Crystal Drake, is up in the northwestern side, up in Grogenheim somewhere. Was the last sighting of it, but people haven't seen that one in hundreds of years, and so he kind of has speculated it as a something that basically has disappeared amongst the time. He basically shares that this dragon is, as far as he's concerned, probably gone. And he basically mentions, like, hey, this is what it looks like. And then those are the known dragons, as far as he's aware. Did you have any other questions, or was it just the dragons? I remember that part.
No, I was. Erd also asked any powerful objects, myths, or not just
he wouldn't.
just dragons.
So he wouldn't really know.
Someone.
Yeah, he wouldn't really know much about magic, or understanding what I've told you guys before about the congruence of magic in certain areas, where he wouldn't really understand any of that. But he would tell you that the Heaven's Ascent is a great place for magical knowledge, because that's what elves are good at.
And the Jade Dragon's there too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he tells you basically, I wouldn't go there if I was you, but I care about my life. So, if you guys are willing to throw your life away, have fun going there. But he does tell you that if you do go there, seek out, it's supposed to be a trove of tons of knowledge, an infinite resources of knowledge is basically there. And as the DM, it'd probably be a really good spot to go there to kind of learn even more about the world. I mean, he's giving you kind of a taste of some things, but to deep dive further into a lot of the stuff, that would be kind of a place for you to go. I mean, there's other places as well, but and you also have 2 other places on the map that's circled if you're showing him from the map that you guys got from the Broodmother's Cave.
Okay. So it sounds like we're going to the Cherry Woods.
Maybe. If you guys want, you can go there too.
And then I guess after listening to that, I would just thank him for his knowledge and see if Sho, do you have any other questions, or does anybody else here have any questions?
I don't. I'm just gonna drink this up. God, I'm tired. And then Show, I think, just would be like.
Yeah. So your adrenaline has started to fade.
Fade
yeah,
off.
yeah, is there any other questions? Anybody else have anything that they want to ask? Or... Cool. Well, as you thank him for his time. He nods and basically tells you if you need anything else to let him know, and he'll just kind of be right over there. And then he heads off into his path. At this point, I mean, you guys are kind of relaxing around this table. I mean, it's still early in the morning. I mean, if you guys sleep, you guys can certainly sleep, but it'd take most of the day for you guys to sleep, and then whatever you were doing next would be like in the evening time, or because you guys are exhausted. A lot of it'll be like 10 hours of sleeping, so you could essentially think that's going to be like nighttime at that point, or you can continue to stay up until nighttime and then get a traditional back to the regular sleep cycle. You'll just be tired kind of throughout the normal day.
Show, I don't think is gonna go sleep yet. I think he is gonna keep on drinking though for a bit, and then he'll go talk to Dr. Elizabeth about her information.
Well, Ert is drinking and enjoying his Astro, which is quite tasty, by the way. You guys should try it. Disease-free.
You mean with all of the diseases that hasn't been pasteurized?
I'm gonna look over at Raven and Raymond and be like, "Do you guys want to go to the shop and go check out some supplies? I'm pretty tired, but I think it's too early to rest. I don't know if you want to just keep drinking all day, Shonen, or go take time."
It's like 9 a.m. Show's just like,
I know Show's just throwing him back.
You don't know. I wasn't gonna before, but now I'm thinking about it because you said that.
I'm good to head to the market, mate. Maybe find me some of that coffee stuff. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Oh, coffee.
Does it go good with milk?
Actually, it does quite nicely.
Actually, it does. Tydox, what do you do, man?
We're all still upset with Tydox.
He left.
Tydox got bullied. Where did Tydox go if he left?
Tydox would have gone to the blacksmith. He needs a workshop.
Cool. So blacksmith, marketplace, and then
You're stuck with your big golden egg.
Are you going with the rest of them? So you wouldn't have gone to the bartender or the inn at all? Is that what you're saying, Tydox?
After they started talking about the map and where to go, they all kind of got distracted and he just left.
Okay.
Yeah, but I gave him back his bag of holding, so he followed it to some point. Yeah, I think Sho would just kind of like uninterestedly follow behind like the three of them as they go to the market, basically.
Cool.
Raymond will also go to the market. He'd like some breakfast.
Cool. We will break into two scenes. We will do the blacksmith scene first. And so you enter, you see basically a dwarven man, beating on a sword. He's lighting it on fire, and then he's like beating it down back and forth. And, big rugged man. He's got his beard tied into 4 or 5 different braids. And you see scorch marks across his chest and his head as he's working. He's got little glasses that are like a welding mitt, but right up here as he's beating this down. As you walk up,
Did you?
Nate jumped in.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Did you just take the? Did we have a shield in there? Didn't we have a? Or was it just a bow and a sword?
From the Broodmother, all you
Pretty
guys
sure we just
received
had a
was a
sword
bow
and a
and a
bow.
sword.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, excuse me. Are you in charge of the forge here?
I am.
Oh, okay, excellent. Do you happen to have any wares that I could peruse? I'm in the market for a few different items.
Depends what you're looking for.
Well, I was. We need a shield, and possibly. Two well-crafted rings.
He kind of,
I don't know if you're a jeweler or not.
yeah, he's he's basically uninterested in what you have to say, but he's just slamming down. And then he, is continually working on it as you're sitting there talking and sharing all this stuff. It takes him far longer to respond and to answer to you than, especially probably you would especially you are very high paced, and so you're asking him for all his stuff, and he doesn't say anything for a second. And then he's looking at his sword, and then he sets the sword down after a few minutes, and then he slowly moves. You ever are in a hurry at a restaurant or something, and they're doing everything possible to be as slow as humanly possible, and you're just you're hey, I need to check, at a restaurant, and they're purposely avoiding your table. They're not coming to brag and giving you water. It's the terrible customer service. You're sitting there, you're I'm just trying to get out of here, man. Yeah, he's doing all that, and then he's banging on his sword, and then he slowly gets up and he walks over to a chest and he starts to peruse through it, and then he kind of tosses out a basically just a regular iron shield. And then he pulls out 2 rings as well. And they don't really do anything at this point, but he kind of pauses and he's just what you need. Again, it's probably 15 to 20 minutes of him walking and doing this stuff as he's been just sitting there patiently.
Right. So
probably fidgeting. Yeah.
Yeah. In that time, could I do an investigation to see if there's stuff in this forge that Tydox could use to just do it himself?
Yeah. Roll an investigation as you're asking all this stuff, and
advantage, right?
Yep.
Eek! Oh my god! Fucking roll disadvantage. Get 18, 16, 23.
Nice. Yeah, you see that there's a lot of material. I mean, it's a blacksmith. You see ores and a whole smelter in the back. You see, things that are there. Again, as he's just sitting there hammering down on it. You definitely see that there's a ton of stuff that you could do it yourself. How do you approach that with this guy?
So, how much for the 2 rings and the shield, sir?
Oh, yeah. 5 gold pieces for the lot of it.
It seems a bit steep. How about I can I inspect them to see if it's actually worth that, or if he's just get out of my face?
Yeah. You can roll an investigation on them for sure.
Another investigation. Hot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, that's only a 13.
Cool. You see that they are definitely not worth 5 gold for the 3 of them, but he is more of like prices are steeper here because of the nature of the place,
Yeah.
because of how like arms and people going off to the Feral Flatlands, like they need it, but also what you could probably investigate from this material is that this is probably from somebody who had died in the Feral Flatlands, and he basically has recycled it to himself, basically, you know. So like
Yeah.
they all work kind of in tandem with each other to basically like hand off this
Right.
stuff. And so he, you know, he's like 5 gold, take it or leave it.
So I think Archie would have like been like, I'm not gonna do that. It's fucking no way, man.
Yeah.
Chadax
Archie's
is like,
looking in his.
So, how about can we broker a new deal? I will give you 4 gold to just use some of your materials in the forge, and you can keep all 3 of these items. You'll get 4 gold and let me rent some space. Essentially, just take my time.
Again, he's pretty slow at answering you and all this stuff as you're talking. And he ponders this for a few more minutes, and then he looks up and he goes, "Do you think you're a better craftsman than I?"
I mean, if we have to put our metal to the test, I guess. I mean, sure, but I wasn't insinuating any of that. I just wanted to, not be in your way. Maybe learn something from you.
Docs roll initiative. Just like fucking
Yeah.
he's about to throw hands.
Tadak straight up just told this guy that he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I think I'm better than you, but," and then he continues on like, "Yeah, we can test it right now if you want." So essentially what he does is, again, after a few more minutes of just thinking about it and pondering, he's like, again, it is aggravating how long it's taking for this guy to just like answer questions for you, you know? And he tells you like, because you can see you're like fidgeting and doing other stuff, and he's like, "You lack the patience of a good blacksmith. But if you want, we can try it out." And he says, he basically raises it to 6 gold to use the forge and the materials.
Chadax doesn't have that much. He's only got 5. How about we split the difference with him?
All right, yeah.
So
He
just give him
says,
5.
if you can beat him, he'll give it to you for free. Otherwise, he'll take 5 gold. So
God. All right.
So a blacksmith off,
agreed.
man.
How does that work?
Between a blacksmith and a not
It's gonna
blacksmith.
be great. It's like on Thursday when we learned how to gamble in D&D. That was amazing.
Yeah. So you are going to be proficient in this, and he has some stats as well. So if you want, you can use. It'll just be a flat D20 roll, but you get to use your proficiency doubled. So it'll be plus
A little one for
4.
this.
Okay, and then I'm going to roll, and I also have stats that I have for him as well.
This is
And
the
I'll
most
tell
high
you-
stakes roll of the whole game. Right
So
now.
there's three items, right? There's the shield and the 2 rings. Essentially, so you guys are all 3 making these things. And I will tell you, he's got a +6. Okay,
Oh shit! I got a +4. That's crazy.
and you get a +4. He's a better blacksmith than you. All right, first roll, 15.
Oh, 17 +4.
All right, so you beat him in the first one. All right, in the next roll, an 11.
17 again.
Nice. So 2 for 3. Let's see what the third one is.
Right bullets here. 7.
18 is what he got for this last one. So he sees. So I'll describe kind of what happens to the scene. The scene basically takes place, and you guys build the shield first, and you guys are back and forth,
Thank God.
cranking. It takes a couple things. It's really close. The first one is, But yours comes out pretty immaculate. You have the texture. I'll let you kind of describe what the shield looks like, but for his shield, it's a small little um, iron buckler, basically, that he's created, and it's pristine, but you could tell that it's not quite as circular. It's a little oval, more ovaline than it is circular. And basically, what you've done is he's created this thing. There's a little bit of dents. There's a couple imperfections. Yours is better than his. So, what does yours look like?
So I think we both, just to keep it as even, we both would have made like a smaller buckler, and Tydox would have had some really pretty kind of like not scales, but almost just like waves, kind of like something that comes out and it's just like. So imagine that it like folds in and out, but this thing has just the different layers of all around
Yeah.
it with a centerpiece on
Yeah.
it.
So your shield pops in and out, basically, is kind of like
Right.
a Captain America.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, that's sick. The second one wasn't very close at all. The ring itself. He makes the first ring he makes is he does a really bad job of it. He does like a little iron. It's too big in one area. It's not very like consistent in the materials. He kind of messed up when he was smelting it and shifting it like that, and then it's just kind of a solid circular ring, and that's really the big factors for it. But his is not very good.
So on Tydock's ring, it probably wouldn't have been too immaculate. He didn't put any jewels or anything in it, but he put kind of like, it's got like an iron band that goes around, but then it's almost like a braided rope that's loosely woven. So it's got some spacing in it, but this is more of like a manlier ring, not like a feminine, like thin band with a jewel. This is a thick, like if you got punched with this thing, it would hurt essentially.
Right. Yeah, I like it. And then the last ring, you kind of put in all your baskets in the first two. You kind of worked really hard on those two. And the third one, at that point, you were kind of like tired. I think you put more work into those other two, and you had less material for the third one. Kind of, you didn't compensate having the fact that like, oh yeah, there is three of these. Like I'm working really hard on these first two, and then the third one you kind of have like the leftovers. So describe yours, and I'll describe
so that
this last one.
So the last ring probably would have kind of been something that would have tried to be a little more feminine and small, but I think like the top of it was just a little too thick and the bottom didn't quite come together fully, and the setting piece, he probably would have tried to put something in it, but it wasn't sturdy enough and it kind of fell out. So it's kind of just now an empty setting with a thin band with maybe a little bit of engraving on the side.
Yeah, absolutely. And his is an immaculate piece of ironwork. I mean, it is. He looks like he worked. He saw his first two. He kind of looked over at what you were doing, and then for his, he did a nice little again braided embroidery because he liked your design on it. And this thing is an immaculate piece of work. Beautiful, like a silvery. It's iron, but it's like a chromatic. Vibe to it. It's nice and shiny. It's nearly perfect in everything that it is. It looks like this would be. I mean, it's made of iron, so it's not really like that great, but it's not going to be worth a lot. But he sees that this thing is beautiful beyond compare, and he looks at your work and he looks at his work, and he can admire and admit when he's wrong, and he says, "Aye, 2 gold pieces then."
Oh, thank you, sir. It was a pleasure exchanging notes with you.
And yeah, he's kind of an angry dwarf, so he doesn't say much about anything, and he just he tosses you that other ring though. So now you have your two and his ring. So you have all three of the good rings basically. And he says, keep it as like to remember basically this day. And yeah, you head off into wherever you go next.
And we go
We-
probably back to the tavern. That was really the end of his adventuring day. He needed some things to think about and get.
He heads off to your room by yourself. We then go to the marketplace. You guys see a few different things going on. I mean, there's a couple different markets. I mean, there's like a vegetable place. There's like, like classic, medieval market. There's a bunch of different shops with a bunch of people selling, like a bazaar. They're sharing different things. And like, oh, you should buy this. Depending on what you guys are looking for, will really kind of determine as you're going. Randman, as you're going, you notice that there is a particular beet farmer, like beets, and you see this, and again, your whole thing is like turnips, and but you see this guy selling beets like crazy, and you notice his companion is someone very familiar. You see a four-legged gray donkey who is just staring at you, staring bullets next to you as he's sitting there with this beet farmer.
Menacingly.
Menacingly.
Raymond is not happy looking at the beet farmer, but he does also notice the donkey. And he does notice that the donkey notices him. And he's maybe going to try and sneak away from the crowd.
Yeah, roll me a stealth.
I'm sorry, little buddy. Woke up the dog. Alright, stealth. Let's see, do I get disadvantage because we're still exhausted?
Yes.
You do.
Doesn't matter. 20.
Dirty.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you stealthily disappear into this crowd. The
Raymond smells
donkey,
trouble, and he's out of it.
the donkey was staring bullets at you, and for some reason, he can't see you anymore.
Raymond was like, I didn't work.
Where'd he go? Like just
Donkey's
like a
like-
person walks in
He is
front. Someone walks
Yeah.
between them, and then Raymond's just gone.
Yeah. Classic, like the bus scene where there's a guy sitting there, and then the bus comes by, and then as soon as the bus is gone, the guy's gone
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you disappear into the crowd. Do you try to do anything? Or are you trying to go anywhere? Or
You're
you try
going
to
to-
sneak it?
He's gonna try and that kind of messed up. That kind of messed up his morning though. He's gonna go find some fresh beets to eat. Or some
Yes.
fresh turnips.
Yeah, gotcha.
Some good old
Yeah.
turnips.
Yeah, all right. And then the rest of you guys, as you guys go through the market, there's a few different like stores or things. What are you guys looking for?
I'm looking for coffee, and
I
then
know.
like a supply store for bartenders to get
Cool.
materials, liquors, different things like that.
And Catherine, what are you looking for?
I was gonna look at Raven and be like, what is this coffee that you speak of? Can you show me what it is? I like
Well,
my
Mike.
400 years, I've never had it.
If you have it now, you're going to be having it for the next 400 years, and probably more.
Straight.
You're going to rely on it. You're going to need it.
So it's a
No.
drug.
It's a drug.
You know, it's... No one would call it a drug, but we all know it's a drug.
I was gonna say, interesting.
It's a drug so good that they didn't make it illegal. That's how important it is.
And it's all
Yeah.
probably just gonna follow Raven, just to,
Yeah.
because I'm probably gonna get some of that gubs.
And Shell, were you with them as well, or did you stay back at the tavern?
Shell is like just trailing behind them.
Gotcha.
He's not really looking for anything.
So Raven and Captain, you guys notice that there's a beautiful elven woman, red hair, who's selling all sorts of ginger, cinnamon, all sorts of supplies like that you would create your whiskey. I mean, obviously, like they don't have like they're not gonna have like whiskey or other stuff, but they'd have like the stuff that you would be able to create your own liquid and alcohol and and she looks at you and she says it's about 10 silvers worth of supplies for all of it.
What's the conversion rate on silver to gold?
I wrote this down somewhere. It's a good question.
'Cause I only have gold in my inventory, so.
It is 1 silver equals 10 copper, 1 gold equals 100 silver.
It's like pennies.
Do you have change, ma'am?
Sure.
I got a piece of gold here, so 10 silver works out for all the stuff.
She looks at the piece of gold and she's like, yeah, of course, yes it is.
You want to find anything else?
Yeah, do you want anything else?
Do you know where we can find some of coffee around here? Do you guys have that around these parts?
She looks at, coffee and she's like, what? What are you asking about? And then, she's like, here. And then she, like, hands you some beans. And I'll let you decide what those beans are, as you look at it, like, roll. But she hands you basically 5 beans of stuff.
I like to imagine she handed me, like, just unroasted beans that were picked up. So I'm like, hey, Captain Nerd, can you, you can breathe fire, right? You're a dragon. Can you toast these up a bit?
I'm just gonna look at him. I don't breathe fire. It's complicated. I am in ice breath. Kind of like fumbling on my words.
I think pops up and he's like, Beth, we've been on fire twice now and you didn't do anything about it. And you've had and Show is just like, exasperated and he just like, walks away.
Fired twice and you didn't have ice? What the fuck?
The whole fucking building is on fire. And he's like, if only somebody had.
I can do.
Well, I do gotta go to the blacksmith after this, so maybe he's got some fire we can use.
Yeah. She hands you 5 beans. Is there anything else you guys want to do before you can head to the blacksmith as well?
Anything you need.
Question. This is a world question. Do all the elves come from like one place?
It would be assumed that they're all in this area, that this is like the most prominent place for the elves. Yes. So like wood elves, high elves, drow, or at least all in this area.
I guess my question is this lady wearing anything that would signify exactly she's
so
I don't know if I'm trying to find out where she's from to see if she might know pretty much.
Yeah, she I mean, you wouldn't really tell. You couldn't really know what she's like. Like, she's not wearing like a, City of San Antonio like shirt or anything that's like, I love LA or whatever, like she but I mean, you could tell elves are from Andriel. Like, most of them are populated. That's where the highest population of elves are from. If you were to ask her, she could probably tell you where she was from, but just from looking at her, you would be like, elf, probably from this area,
Yeah. Nah, then I'm just gonna I don't have any more questions, Raven. I'll follow you.
All right. Just looks back over it. Hey, Show, you need anything? You good back there?
Show is like like having like that Pablo Escobar like standing there like contemplating life as he's just like, what have I gotten into type of thing, and he's just like, no, Raven, I don't think anything here could help me with what I need. And then I think he just follows.
Show needs therapy.
He's like,
Yeah.
I've been lit on fire and no one's put me out. I've got an ice dragon following me around.
That's just like watch shows world. I'm like, he's an ice dragon and he's been trying to use this sword this whole time, and I was on fire not once but twice. And so I think he's just having a real moment.
He's really like, fuck this guy, dude.
just too much to handle.
You
But
mean
no, I
to
don't
tell
think
me
it's
when we
anything.
were flying out of that burning house, we could have been sliding down icy ramp to
A
get out
nice
of
little
there
ice
faster?
we could have been sledding, could have had a nice little sled session, but no, instead, my ass got lit on fire. Look at I'm still don't got my backside back yet. Like,
Did we
it's
ever
just
replace the
crazy. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah.
Did you guys ever replace your clothes? You have not replaced your clothes.
I
This would be
put
a
my
good
shirt
time
back
to
on.
get new clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Just walk around with some
yeah.
bare bottoms.
And then show, I guess probably he looks and he's like, yeah, I guess I am naked. Maybe I should get some clothes.
Yeah. You guys get, if you guys just want regular clothes, it's like 10 silver as well, you know, for all three of you guys. You guys could find some like traveling clothes and
I mean, I've pretty much been in armor this whole time.
yeah, well, the people whose backsides are out pretty much.
So I get a new shirt, but
Well,
I keep my bartender's vest, even though it's got a giant hole in the back of it. Like this was like, given to me.
Yeah.
I'm still a distinguished bartender. Like, I gotta
Yeah.
keep this.
Raymond found some. He found some kids' clothes. Like a little boy. He's got.
The like typical gift shop. It's like typical gift shop clothes. Like you're at a gas station and you find like, you know, thanks for coming to the Nesting Grounds crossing. You know, like, you know, gift shop emporium. You know, like stuff like that. That's what you guys find. You know, show I imagine is in like a shirt that's got like the, you know, woman who's on the side of it, who's got the you know, like that girl in a bikini on top of the shirt, you know, type vibes.
Mhm.
That's like the, they don't look like that, but that's the a picture in my head of like clothes that you guys are grabbing, like the typical gift shop.
Just
can-
I went to the
Yeah.
I went to the nesting grounds and all I got was
this t-shirt.
Wow, t-shirt.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. And so you guys grab all that. I think Raymond's mom just got there too.
Yeah, they did. They took the dog.
Oh,
Can I pet
sad.
that dog?
Bye, puppy.
Can I pet that dog?
Heartbreaking.
Was that very nice?
Uh,
I do my baby dog.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna close the door.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm free.
I mean, technically, he is hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's installed.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and so then they start heading off. And Raymond, were you gonna do anything else while you were hiding, or did you want anything else while you were there, or?
I found my turnip. I dipped it in some dirt. Get that
Good.
earthy taste.
Good. Good.
Got a new set of clothes. I found a little hat, little propeller hat.
Nice.
Do you need more pebbles? More for your slingshot, or I guess
actually doing-
do you
I'm
have
actually
things
doing
for your
pretty
bow?
good.
Maybe.
You wouldn't
That's
have
true.
arrows at this point. You could
That is
buy
true.
arrows if you wanted.
I can't just shoot pebbles from an arrow.
Yeah.
Good try.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
I will find some arrows
Nice.
or some
There's
very pointy sticks.
a few different kinds of arrows. You find somebody who, I think actually you'd find sticks, and you'd be like, these would work.
The stick
Right
merchant.
next to a guy, there's a stick merchant who's just selling like the good stick, and then right next to him is like the actual like arrow supplier. And you, I feel like, would look more at the stick guy, and you'd be like, "These are it." But if you want, you can get some real arrows too. But I imagine
think
Ram
I
is
would
more
get the
of
sticks. It's like, how fresh are these sticks?
Alrighty, these are the best sticks we got on the market.
Fresh sticks.
Is there a
Well, you
church
see-
nearby?
Yeah, there'd be a church in this place, or a clerical apothecary for sure.
All right. I'm gonna look to Raven real quick and be like, "Look, I'll meet up with you in a second. I need to go hit up that apothecary over there."
All right, mate. I'm head over to the blacksmith. I think we got everything we need here.
Cool. Cool. Raymond, for those sticks, it'd be like 5 copper.
Oh, good deal, good deal. All right. How much gold?
How much
I need to
gold is a
actually keep
copper?
track.
It's 1,000, isn't it?
Gold
Yeah.
is 100
Wow.
silver. A silver is 100 copper.
I
How
have
much
to
gold do I have? So I haven't been keeping track of my gold, have I?
I have been. That's crazy. Because I love inventory management.
I love the stock market.
Wicket needs holy water right now. And it's not coffee, even though actually that could be.
It's flavor
That
text.
coffee's that holy water. That's right. Going to Flavor Town.
With 5 beans, we'll see how much espresso I can even get for us.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
You could do a duplication.
5
bro,
beans
yeah.
also of like something, right? You know, I didn't say that it was coffee beans. It's 5 of some kind of bean. You're like, this has
Pistachio
to be
coffee.
it.
That's okay. Everything
Yeah.
can be set on
Those
fire.
magic
so-
beans.
Yeah. We will go back to the blacksmith real quick for Raven, and
Okay.
then we'll go to the apothecary.
Easy.
Oi, blacksmith. Couple things for you. I got these beans here. I was wondering if you could put them next to the fire until they. I guess you know what chocolate is.
Again, like with Tydox, he doesn't say anything for like 3 or 4 minutes, like an uncomfortable amount of time, before he kind of just nudges to set the beans next to the fire if you want.
All right, yeah, just till they're the color of chocolate, or excrement, whatever you understand is dark brown.
More beans.
And then so I pull out my kitchen knife, my dagger, which is Octavius, the bartender, gave to me. So it's like a really nice knife. And I basically asked like, "Hey, you think you can make any improvements to these?"
Well, you have one knife that High Priest Yosef actually gave you from his personal chef, was the knife that he had. And you had another one that was blunt from Octavius.
Okay.
So he takes the blunt one after, again, another uncomfortable amount of time of silence as he's working on his. It's really more like the vibe you're getting is that you are bothering him in the place where he's supposed to be working, and like you're coming to like his job, you're paying for his, services, and you're the bother. You're the problem, right? And that's the vibe you're getting from this guy, is that he's just like, why do I have to work and do like the sole purpose of my job, right? And so he takes your daggers, he spins them, he looks at them, and then he sharpens, does a few sharpen parts of the dull one. The high priest one, he actually looks at it and he's like, "Oh, I've never seen anything like this. Where'd you get it?"
Some old geezer gave it to me.
"How much for it?"
Oh, you want to buy it? Let's say.
You don't have to sell it. I'm just there's.
Mhm.
In my mind.
I'll tell you as the DM.
Yeah.
Could sell it.
You could sell it. It could be a reason why he wants to buy it.
And you should sell it, and we can beat him up
1
afterwards. and get some money.
million gold.
Do I know anything about the knife? Like anything? Is there anything
No,
noticeably
that's right. You
special?
guys haven't. I'll be honest. None of you guys have looked at any of your equipment and inspected it beyond just having it and being like, "Oh, this is probably just starter gear for whatever." And since this is the first piece of armor that somebody else has looked at, or piece of equipment from there that somebody else has looked at that you have gotten from High Priest Yosef,
Mhm.
I don't want to spoil too much, but he basically has seen this and he's like, "Holy shit!"
He's like,
Well-
what an idiot.
What's it worth to you?
Yeah, not very much, but I'll take it off your hands for, let's say, 5 gold pieces.
Stick.
Well,
He's a dick. You can also, if you want to roll the insight to see, if this is a good price or whatever.
yeah, I'll do that. I got decently high insight. I don't
And
even
with
have to roll a
disadvantage,
disadvantage in that one.
Oh my god.
He's telling the truth, man. He's giving you a fair price. He's like, hey, this is a steal, man. 5 gold pieces for this knife. It's a regular chef's knife, according to everything that you know about it.
Well, how do I want to play this? So basically, I want to bargain, and I want him to essentially make my dagger like stronger than it is.
Yeah.
Like the actual weapon. Because that was the ultimate goal, and obviously that knife, the blunt knife, is more important to me. So.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna present. So I'm gonna play into the obliviousness of not knowing the chef knife or the Yosef knife, and see if I can get like the 5 gold plus making my dagger better.
Yeah, I mean, he made the dagger better for you. The blunt one, he sharpened it for free.
Okay.
So he had, there's no cost at him, but he basically is asking you to, he'll sell you or he'll buy this one from you for like 5 gold pieces,
Okay.
which you believe is a fair price. But again, you don't nothing. You also don't have to sell it to him. You can be like, no, but
Do it. Sell it.
Yeah, I'm gonna, since there's no one else with me to keep me from doing something stupid, I'm just gonna do the stupid thing. Or yeah, I'm gonna play into it.
If no one comes from the future to stop you, is it really that bad?
it's true.
It's true.
It's not like it's all of humanity. It's fine.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah, so he buys it, he gives you 5 gold pieces for it. And as you are leaving, he just smiles at it and he stares deeply into this knife. He has given you 0 emotion this whole time, and you've just made him super happy.
Do I notice he's smiling as I'm walking
Yeah.
out? Or okay.
Yeah, for sure. It's very noticeable that his entire mood has changed
Yes.
as you leave.
Well,
Is he broken?
I'm glad I made your day. You were, it seemed like you're in a better mood.
You've made my day very, very happy.
All right, well, you keep up that smile, eh? I'm gonna head out.
He does. And he kind of ignores your presence at this point. He's just staring deeply into this dagger. And yeah, you head off. Your dagger now is a little sharper. I'm going to give it basically a +1 property.
Okie doke.
And so it's a little sharper. It'll do a little bit more damage. And I'll fix all this in between sessions. But
Okay.
just remember, dagger's a little sharper.
Sounds good.
Okay. The apothecary. You go there. There's a human there, a wizard of sorts, basically. But you see that there's a person, a church, a clergyman who's there, and there's a bunch of like spells and other stuff. But what are you looking for?
I would just go up. You said there's a wizard and who? Like there's 2 people?
There's one person. It's like a wizard. It's a clergyman.
Oh, okay.
Sort of, but
I'll just go up to him and ask him. I'm like, sir, do you have any parchment or holy water?
yeah, of course. I could spare you some. And he pulls out, this brown liquid that is I would say it's more like black tether almost. It's really warm in your hands, and it smells delicious. One of the best smells you've ever smelled.
Now, do I know? Is this holy water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's coffee. Yeah. So it's this brown liquid. It's this immaculate looking drink. But yes, he gives you like a bottle of it, and basically says it's like 20 silver for it. That and the parchment.
Okay. Is the by the way, is the holy water in a vial or what is it?
Yeah, it's like in a jar.
Okay, cool. With it like an Ernheim flask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like warm in your cold hands.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just grab it and then I will grab it and then the parchment from him and then I will pay him his
20 silver.
comeuppance. And then I'm just gonna ask him real quick. Sir, you look. Are you a magic user of sorts?
Yeah, some could say that.
Out of curiosity, would you happen to know of any rumors of powerful relics or mythical
Yeah.
items that are powerful?
So roll a D100.
Oh shit! I don't have one of those dice.
You have two. They're the 22, 10. 10
that
side ones with
counts.
double digits. Yeah, those are the D100.
What is that?
Yeah, they look like this.
Do I have one?
Yeah,
Is
you
this
should
it?
have two of them.
Okay.
You have one. It comes with your set.
One that's groups of 10s and then one that's just 0 to 9.
Oh, okay. So I roll that then.
Yeah.
Roll them both, yeah.
If it's double zeros or it's triple zeros, it's actually 0. And then, yeah, the other one is double zeros, and then,
Okay.
wait, hold on. Triple zeros is actually 100, and then because it goes from 1 to 100. So triple zeros is 100, and then everything else. If you get double zeros, it's like single-digit numbers.
So this is. Is that 14? It's a 1 0.
14.
So you got 10, and then you have add the other one.
So yeah,
And the other
14.
one was 14. Perfect. You ask him about rumors of magic items, right?
Hmm.
So with a 14, he shares to you, which it sucks because you guys haven't already know about this stuff, but he tells you about Mount Ignis, which you just learned about from the bartender.
Yeah.
Basically, it tells you it's the highest point in all of Alexandria.
If you want to, if it's stuff we've already been over, you can just give me like you go
The
from Mount
Cliff
Ignis.
Notes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll give you, but there's a little bit more that I've written within it. But he basically tells you that there's an active volcano that emits toxic fumes throughout the land. The high amount of volcanic ash is in the air is the reason for the area, why it is. It creates red trees within the area. It creates toxic fumes within the Niazar marshes. It's like the source of it. He then tells you about a nasty dragon that lives within its thing, and that dragons are known for hoarding high magical items. And then he tells you that he's like, you didn't hear this from me, but you magic in the air, the high points of magic seem to attract powerful monsters. And you've kind of already knew that, but it kind of sticks a little bit deeper. He says that, like, if you're looking for magic items, powerful monsters will also be near. So it's kind of the rumors that he gives you.
Okay. And I would say, thank you kindly. And then I'm probably gonna leave with how much holy parchment?
Yeah, how much did you need for your magic and stuff?
It just I don't know if it's like a reasonable, but It says just a sprinkling of holy water.
Yeah, he gives you a sprinkling. A lot of times, what happens in D&D is
Yeah.
it'll ask you for specific gold pieces amount of this for some of your higher level spells. For you as a paladin, it probably won't, but for clerics especially, they'll say that it's this much gold pieces worth of stuff. If it ever tells you that, tell me how much that is so that I can tell you the exact price, because I actually won't know that. If it doesn't say that, know that it's going to be probably pretty cheap. I'm going to make up a price for it.
So what do you mean? Like it's like right? This just
Since,
says.
since it just says a sprinkling of holy water, there's no actual gold piece worth amount for
yeah.
it.
Well, and then
So
a
it
small
doesn't matter.
parchment with a bit of holy text doesn't have anything either on it.
Exactly. There will be some spells, especially at higher levels, that will say it's this gold piece amount worth of
Okay.
stuff.
Material. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna thank him, and then I'm gonna head off to regroup with everyone else.
Yep. So you guys all regroup together after a few hours of traveling and collecting things and doing all the things. And you guys head back to the tavern where you guys had stayed. At this point, it's probably about midday, noon, afternoon, 1 o'clock-ish. And so you guys can certainly head to bed, but it's still probably a little too early to head to bed. You have about 5 to 6 hours worth of real daylight or other stuff. If you guys want to talk about the adventure, you've kind of gathered a bunch of clues. You also still have Elizabeth to talk to, if you want to kind of, because she's going to know more about it.
So in between, Raven, he did grab the beans on the way out while the guy was staring crazily at the knife. He went to he just found like a little campfire that somebody had and started mashing up the beans and
you roll me
a small amount of coffee.
You roll me an Arcana check when you're doing
Arcana,
that.
okay.
Magic beans.
7.
All right, so you mash up the beans, and you feel no magic in them. That's fine.
Regular beans.
All right.
You assume they're regular beans, yeah.
Yeah.
You mash them up, and it's a green coffee. And you're like, this isn't what I thought coffee was supposed to look like. But who knows? I haven't really had coffee in a while. I'm kind of new to this whole coffee era thing. So
then I go to the bar and I sit down next to her and I hand him a little cup and there's maybe a half a shot of espresso in each of our cups. And I'm like, hey, so I got that coffee. You want to give it a swirl?
Sure, I will go ahead and it's just like a little tiny cup.
Yeah.
So you just basically
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, thank you. And then
yeah.
Oh, that's bitter.
Big.
It's not as good as I remember it, but I mean, I guess it'll do.
Well, both of you guys roll me a D100.
Oh God.
Oh gosh.
With disadvantage.
Not bad to me.
Do you want me to roll with disadvantage?
Yeah, they're both. Oh, no, you don't need to roll.
No, not this one. Yeah.
29.
28.
What?
That's weird.
That's awesome.
Love
So
it.
29 and 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, so who got the 29?
Quincy B.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Or, Raven got the 29.
Yeah.
All right. As soon as you take a sip of this, you teleport. You disappear. Kind of like Iradim. Yeah. You disappear, and you're kind of within this tavern. It's like 30 feet, but you teleport outside for whatever reason.
All right.
You just vanish into a mist. The rest of you guys just see him poof out of existence. And then
It's just the Jerusalem.
for Captain Earth, you don't really notice anything different about you. But all your spells with the casting time of 1 action, you can now use a bonus action for the next minute. You feel a little bit more,
Spells.
a little bit more magical as you're sitting here. Yeah, but Raven disappears out of nowhere. For you, Captain Earth, you just take a drink and your body starts to glow a little bit, but that's really the only thing that
Just a
changes.
bit radioactive. Radioactive.
You're like, oh, that's fine. I feel pretty good. You know?
I turn into a giant glow stick. Just...
Jesus.
Yeah. So what do the rest of you guys do? Raven, if you want to walk back in through the door, you absolutely can. As he's poofed out of existence, but
Like your actual door.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, you see Raven walk
So
back
you
into
walk
the
back through. I think Shell is looked and did a double take, and he's like, and then looks down at his drink, and then he's like, maybe I need to stop drinking. It's like, what happened?
Love it. All right, so what are you guys doing at this tavern? Oh, the puppy's back. I love it.
It's a puppy. It's a baby.
It's a
It's a
baby.
limp noodle.
Look at him, he's so
adorable.
present!
I want to cuddle it so much. Chewing on the cord, dude. That's immediate problems.
I cannot. I love the cord.
Oh, he's so cute.
Dude, that's tough, dude. Because
He's winning.
Oh, he's back. He's awake now. He was asleep a while ago.
Look at that little paw just.
Baby.
he's gonna chew through the cord, and Zorpheus is not gonna be able to hear anything.
I don't have a replacement for this. I don't have speakers.
Screwed.
Yeah, so he would be.
So
My dog
if
used to
he
do
gets
that
through the
too.
cable.
Time to go wireless.
Yeah, so what do you guys do while you're sitting here midday? And a lot of this has been just lore dumping, exposition, world building stuff. But you guys have kind of decided to go to Heaven's Ascent, but you guys have kind of just said that. I don't know if you guys have really made a plan to go there at this point. To each other. You have said it to me, but to each other. I don't know if that's been like the, hey, I now know what it's called and what's there. Now you guys have a little bit more information, just a point of order of stuff. Remember that you know about Feral, the whole west side of this little like
West side?
path is extremely dangerous.
So then I'm probably like Captain Nerds. Obviously, we know that we've laid down the locations. We have like 4 dragons. They're known for their mystical
Magical
potentials.
areas.
Yeah, magical areas. I think Captain Nerds gonna realize, hey, might not be a bad idea to go check out Heaven's Ascent, and then maybe we can get some more information on where else to go, even though there may be a potential dragon there, and that's what Captain Erp kind of talked about in the group, just so we kind of put that out there. And then he would also suggest, like, we have a couple more hours before we should really get some sleep. We can go see Elizabeth together if we really want to, or we can maybe just call it for 15 hours, take a nice long rest for sleeps.
Well, I don't know if what happened to you when you drank that coffee, but I think I'm up. I'm zipping to go. Let's go talk to this chick right now.
All right, we can do that real quick.
Yeah, you actually see Elizabeth has walked into the tavern for lunch. Essentially, she's at this exact time. Conveniently enough, it's.
I'm glad you guys made this choice. It would have been awkward otherwise.
Yeah, she's walked in conveniently. You know, like the classic, like, oh, we should go talk to her, and then she's like, oh, I'm right here. You know, in like movies. She's like, hey, bartender. You know, like, hey, George. Hey, George.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Can we just quick lunch, nice light? And then she sees you guys and looks over and she's like, oh God. Does like the wave at you guys, like, hey, what's up, guys? She's covered in blood. She's not really cleaned up to come to lunch, but she's like, oh, I'm on break, it's a smoke break. So she's like,
This is nice.
blood spattered all over her body, and she's like, hi, what's up?
Oh, Captain, you gonna go ask her question? You've been chomping at the bit asking everybody about magic, and then the high priest elf is here, and then you're like quiet as a mouse.
Yeah,
I think it's actually champing at the bit.
You gonna do it, Captain? You gonna go talk to her? You gonna
Raven's just amped.
It's champing. And then I'm actually gonna go. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go up, pick up. Can I pick up Tydox?
Yeah.
Tydox is with you.
What? You still at the blacksmith? I thought you came with us. Where the heck is
he's
Tydox
in his
at?
room. He's not.
Yeah, he went to his
What?
room.
He's with you this whole time.
What the heck? Imaginary Tydox. Archie's with us then.
Jesus.
Then,
Tydox has gone back to his room because he got yelled at by everybody, and he did not feel like hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
then,
You hurt the gnome feelings.
Not on good terms.
Yeah.
then Captain Ert's probably just gonna go talk over to Miss Elizabeth and start inquiring about first of all how the girl is doing, and then he is gonna bring up the questions about, hey, we have some locations we heard you might be a source of information regarding artifacts and dragons.
Yeah, she does the somebody, you see them out in public, but you don't really want to talk to them kind of vibe. And when you get close to her, and then she's like, hey, what's up? Sorry, I didn't get your name. Dragon Man. Got real hits among these people. And she's like covered in blood, and she's like, what'd you say your name was again?
Captain Ert is what they mostly call me.
Hi, I'm Dr. Elizabeth. I don't know if we've really exchanged pleasantries, but thanks again for helping that girl that you mentioned earlier. She's doing well. She's recovering nicely. I think she'll be up in the morning. At least we're hoping it so. She's doing good though. She's stable. She's clear. All things are great. And then as far as the other questions, she talks to you again about a lot of the magical congruences. You talk to her about Heaven's Ascent, and she says that she's like, you guys are fucking crazy. It's the same thing before. Like, you guys want to go there now? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? And she basically is just like, yeah, my people. She's from Andriel, so she's like, my people. We actually made a safe haven for them and a human, because she's talking to you, so she doesn't really know that you're from Elysium. But she says that Heaven's Ascent was the safe haven for both you, or Elysium and Andriel. It's like their time where they could come in. And it's also a place full of a ton of elven knowledge. So basically every elven knowledge piece and the elves have been alive for assumingly the queen has been alive for the entirety of this world as we know it. Has been around for 1200 something years, and she, all the knowledge that she's collected. So this Heaven's Ascent has hundreds of years of knowledge within this place, and this would be a really great place to go and learn more about the world and these magic items and what you're looking for as far as the total quest is concerned. Again, she warns you about the dragon and tells you hey, this dragon's horrifying. As far as the other magical places, she tells you that there is a magical spot pretty close to where you guys are at right now, but it's a rumor. A lot of people don't really know about it. It's a lost temple within the Lake of Tranquility. So it's this said to this island that moves or disappears, that no one has seen it in hundreds of years. But there's supposed to be an island somewhere within this Lake of Tranquility that she's noticed a ton of magical magical gathering has appeared, and she's been somebody who she doesn't really like take effect because she's kind of worried about this, but she's noticed that there's a lot of people who come to it. She also gives you
Is it on the way?
It's not. It's a little northwest. It's within so you guys are, remember, in the middle of these two continents, basically. There's like a bridge. You guys are in this town that's here. She mentions the Lake of Tranquility being the lake that is holding all the lake right here, where the bridge kind of goes over.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, she tells you that there's an island that's somewhere within this lake that's actually pretty close to you guys, but she tells you like no one's really seen this place in a long time. She also mentions to you though that she heard a rumor essentially about it and how to find this. That some say that this place is only sought at a certain time. If you look at underneath the bridge at a certain angle, you can. Some people have said they've been able to see the temple of Mimir, but it's just a rumor at this point that she doesn't believe in what people have said about it. But she basically says that if you peer off into Lake of Tranquility at a certain time, you can see the temple appear to those who are like worthy enough. But she's like, I don't put any stake into that, so it's whatever. As far as the other places, you had another place on the east that she tells you about. And she tells you that she doesn't really know much about it because it's so far east, but she does know that that's the land of the Genasi, who are essentially elemental people in this world, and so that they're a land of like elements. And it's off in the desert somewhere on the east side. She basically tells you like that's probably the safest spot for you guys to go to, as far as like the three that you circled, one being a place full of a dragon and the other being a myth at this point, and then the third being a spot that is relatively safe. I mean, the Genasi are not known for being particularly violent or hostile towards other races. They are hostile within themselves. The water, earth, and air tribes are basically like, allies. And then the Fire Nation being the one that's like the bad guys. And so
The Fire Nation.
yeah. And that's the kind of the information. And I mean, there's more questions or other questions about world stuff. She would be a good resource for you. Again, she's kind of on a smoke break, and the last thing you knew about her was that there's a fuck ton of people within the clinic that are moments from dying at any point. And the fact that she's taken any sort of break itself is crazy. And very irresponsible, but obviously she's got to take care of herself too. So.
She can't help anybody if she dies. Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
And we're spending that precious break of hers.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah,
talking-
explaining the world.
Yeah, she's just sitting here like, like, hey, I really got to go, but like, I'll keep answering questions because like, fuck these people, pretty much. Like, most of these people are gonna die anyways. My job sucks.
Most likely I would just thank her time, and I won't take any more of her time, and then I'll go back to the group and relay that information that I just encountered.
Well, that sounds like a lot of places to go. I don't got any input. I don't know, haven't been to any of these places, so. I trust your leadership,
know that.
Captain. And Show, you seem like you're a pretty good military fellow.
Yeah, I'll defer to the others. I don't know how to read, so quite frankly, if I go to a library, ain't much gonna happen on my end. But if you guys know how, then that might be a good place. But I'll fight a dragon. But I'll fight any of the dragons. You want to go fight that other dragon? I'll go fight that one too, or that dragon. Whatever you want.
We could split up and fight all 3 dragons.
Just imagine all of us splitting up. Divide and conquer.
I mean, desert's hot. I'm not a big fan of hot. Mystery Island and a lake sounds nice. I like boats.
That's true.
He does like
Take-
boats.
Well, we're already pretty close to it, and maybe we can see right now, and then see in the morning. See.
Give it a shot.
What you kind of cut. Or...
I think
Yeah,
it's
so maybe
basically
they'll
saying like we
look
can
at it in
check
the
in the
morning.
morning and the
Yeah.
evening
Oh.
and see
Yeah.
if we can actually see the island.
Because we're close to it right now, yeah.
And it is almost evening.
Well, see if it's a bust, and if it's not or if it is a bust, we'll just go on to the
Heaven's a saint.
library.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a plan to
Alright.
me.
We have our plan.
So you guys wait till. Are you guys gonna do it in the evening time or in the morning time? This is very important.
Is it close?
It's pretty close. You guys are in this town that this is in. You'd have to go outside the town, but it's a little bit of a walk. But you basically, where she told you to go look is underneath the bridge
Yeah.
for it.
So then I'm gonna say, I can go in the evening, and if I don't see anything, I'll get some rest, and then come back early in the morning. So I'll check in the evening, take some rest, and then come back early in the morning. And I'll see if anybody else wants to join me in option. If not, no big deal. Or just one or the other.
I think Show would join. He want to see
I
the.
got plenty of booze, so sit
Yeah.
by the lake. Throw some
So
back.
yeah, you guys go underneath. So what we're the spot she's basically telling you is it's the southern point of the island itself. There's essentially, I'll set the scene. You see a bridge as you go, and you're staring directly at the lake itself. And for minutes, you don't see anything. But as you're staring and staring, as the sun begins to set, you guys notice that something blocks the sun. Normally the sun would just go further down and down and down and down, and you'd see the sun as it crashes, but something blocks the sun. Where you would normally see the sun fall down into the sky, something blocks it and covers it up.
Well, I know I'm a couple drinks in, but that looks awfully suspicious.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, and Show's like cars like.
Just like.
Like,
Hand
yeah, it was hand binoculars to be like, I don't know, it still seems kind of weird to me.
They give you 3 times zoom.
This really helps you focus in. But like, so we just noticed that it's weird, basically, though, like something's blocking it, or.
Yep, and then yeah, pretty much. I don't want to give you guys too much of the spoilers of it, but you would notice that yes, it's weird that something would have blocked the sun, but you guys did stare off in the western side, and there's an island that's supposedly within this area, right? So I don't want to tell you guys how you would think of it, but it's probably safe to assume that you guys did look at it at the right time, or that you noticed that at least somewhere towards evening time in the west, something might be there.
Okay.
So then, I'd probably just say, I don't know, is that enough reason for all of us to go check that out in the morning after we get some rest?
Did Doctor say anything about do we have to go to it at that time? Or do we have to wait till tomorrow evening to go boat to it? Or now that we know there's something there, we can boat in the morning?
She didn't mention anything of that.
Well, either way, we should get some rest for the night and figure it out in the morning.
Agreed. Quite exhausted.
Yeah, so unless there's anything else you guys want to do, I'll assume that you guys all take a long rest. And you guys do you guys wake up kind of before the sun set or before the sun rises? You go check it out again to see if you get any other clues, or
I will, just because I'm used to waking up early. I'm a soldier.
Do we recover from exhaustion?
Yep.
Okay.
If you take a long rest, you do for sure.
Hooray.
Yeah, and based off of how far into the exhaustion you have, determines how long your sleep would be. Raven, for you, since it's just 4 hours of a trance-like state, since you're an elf, you would just need 6 hours instead of 4. You just basically add 2 hours of on top of your exhaustion. So, but I mean, you don't have to get it. You just would need at least 6 hours to kind of recover from the exhaustion level.
All right, I'm gonna say that I like totally passed out drunk, and I'm like the night, so I'm not waking up early.
Yeah. Cool. So Captain Ert,
I had my
anybody
meal.
else go in the morning?
Delicious
Right, cool.
milk.
So Captain Ert, you go.
I'm sleeping.
Cool. I'm assuming no one else, unless you say, Captain Ert, you go in the morning and you look. Same kind of deal. You're looking off into the sun, but in the morning you see nothing. The sun, it obviously is not there. It sets behind you. You don't see it reflect off anything either. I mean, as you're staring off into it, it's kind of murky, shallow water. As you're staring into it, I mean, it's a lake, so the water's kind of still at some points. And what you notice about the lake itself is pretty crystal clear. Typically, you can see pretty much, where you guys are on the shore, but you guys are looking off into the lake. You can see that it's pretty clear. It's a clear lake, and that if there was any like monsters or things, you would think that you'd be able to see into it. And then I want you to roll a perception.
Okay, it's the 20, right?
Yeah, and you get +3, or your perception is you get
I
+1.
think it's at 0, isn't it? Or is it +1?
Yeah.
Yeah, my perception +1. What's that? 18.
18 is perfect. You notice.
I found a trick. This rolling things in here.
Yeah, in the goblet.
Yeah.
You
that what
notice with your 18. It's been a long morning. You've been staring off into the thing, so
The
you can
eclipse
take
just-
this. You can take this how you want. For a split second, you feel like you see some sort of tail swimmer through the thing. Imagine like the Loch Ness monster. You see some sort of like tail sweep out of the water and back underneath.
Okay.
And you don't know what it is. You can't really tell. I mean, you kind of just see this, and again, you're the only one there, staring off into this for a while, and you're like, I'm not gonna tell you how to think, but you'd probably get the thought is like, did I really see that, or am I just making this? Did I want to see that? It'd be kind of the vibe that I would suspect you would understand from that. Again, you kind of tell however you want to, but that's kind of the vibe of, if I was staring deeply at this thing for a while, I'm the only one here. I want to see something. It's like, did I actually see this, or did I not?
Captain Earl would just stare out in the distance, and the only thing you'd audibly hear from him would be,
Yeah, boy.
Boy.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right. And so you guys head back. You're having breakfast. There's still some people who have been there like the entire time you guys have been there in this bar who seem to have never left. And they're shifting back and forth between tops and bottoms and making sure that they're, at least one article of clothing is on at a time.
Freaky Friday.
Yeah, you see some of them wearing girl clothes that are guys. Guys are wearing some girl clothes at this point. There's some barmaiden people. There's some patrons who have refused to leave. But yeah, you see they're starting to make breakfast and other stuff like that. Captain, do you gather everybody up?
Yeah, I would probably start knocking on everybody's door if nobody else is awake and try and just get them around.
Cool.
Just. Actually, you can't hear that. Knocking on everybody's doors. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Whose door do you knock on first?
First person? I know, heaven's door. I'll just go from, I'll do Raven Show, Raymond, and then Ty Docs.
Yeah. What up, Captain?
Shell throws a pillow at you.
You up bright and early?
Yes, I am. Let's get ready to head off to the lake.
Oi, did you head out there this morning? Check it out.
Yeah, I did.
Anything interesting?
No. And then I just keep walking.
Then why are we
Great
going?
with conversation.
Get up, Show. Let's get ready.
Yeah, Shell yells at you, she throws a pill at you. She throws a pill at you.
What? You didn't see anything, but we're still going to this lake. Like, you must have saw something.
We saw something last night, did we not?
I don't know, did we? I don't think I just didn't see the sun. What does that mean? I don't know if that means anything. All this magic stuff is just too much. Like, can't we just go beat something up?
We just might get to fight something on the way.
Okay.
Count me in.
You go to knock on Ramon's door, and
Hold on.
guy. You have something to.
I'm gonna roll D4.
All right.
Uh-oh. He said, I'm the DM now.
Okay, 1. I got a 1 man.
Perfect. You knock on Raymond's door, and Raymond does not answer, but some guy that you saw from the bar answers the door and just looks at you. He's completely naked as he's staring at you.
And then I'm gonna like kind of go over him and say, "Get some clothes on and get out of my way."
Yeah, he's scared. He's like, "Oh God, it's a dragon."
Great.
Yeah, he kind of runs out of the room naked, but he's like running away.
I think Shell would have like elbowed like Raven and been like, "Man, Raven's doing good out here, don't you think? Like, two times in 3 days, that's pretty good. Like, he's got away with the men."
He's known as round
better
bottom
than we
around
are.
these parts.
Random round bottom.
Raymond's just oblivious of what's going on, so I think it's
He was just passed out again.
yeah. Raymond, you open the door. Catherine walks in. He sees you just like chilling. You're just like, "Hey man, what's up?" Unbothered.
You're like, "Get ready, Raymond. We're gonna head off to the lake."
Well, okay.
And then
Man,
Tyler,
These beds real
Oh.
uncomfortable, aren't they?
I'm just
Got a
gonna
sword
look at him.
back.
I got a sword bag. God, I love it. And then you go and knock on Tydox's door. He's the last one.
Tydox.
He's like
Knock.
passed out at a workbench. I imagine that Archie probably would have been like shaking him to wake him up. After that, yeah. After the second knock, you hear some stuff fall down. He like comes to the door. No, it's morning. It's morning already. Okay. Wait, sorry, I disappeared earlier.
Here you go.
He's gonna go grab his things. So we go back in, close the door behind us. Hopefully,
And
it's
then-
not pissed at us.
And then I'm imagining we're all just gonna go get some quick breakfast and then maybe probably start heading out towards the unless anybody has anything to do.
Cool. Yeah. As you guys, I'll say you guys got breakfast. It's been a couple hours as you settle in. It's like really early in the morning, so now it's probably like 8 a.m. now. And you guys have kind of gone out into. If you guys are headed to the lake, I'm assuming that you guys are headed out that way now. You guys look out onto the lake, and it's a huge lake. You can't really see all the way to the other side, but you do see that some of the things I was mentioning to are it's crystal clear. It's a beautiful lake. Since it's still early in the morning, you see kind of like a fog has like settled onto the lake itself. As you're kind of looking off to the distance, you don't really see anything at all. There's no like boats in the harbor. I mean, it's just more of like there is a dock where you guys are at that you guys can collect a boat to kind of swim off into or to like row off into it. But it's like a little dinghy for, we'll say a 5-person dinghy, We'll say 6 since it's pretty much 2 people.
It's like wait fit.
But, Tie Dogs and, Ramen are a half a person, so 5 still works, but.
We smell.
But, yeah, we'll say a slightly bigger than normal thing, but you guys can certainly take the boat onto the lake if you guys choose to actually go in a direction. Again, it's the morning time, so you don't really see much of anything out there other than that the lake itself is crystal clear.
Is it a big old lake like Lake Michigan?
Massive.
Like an ocean?
Massive. It's like
Like Lake Michigan. Surprised you remember. Appreciate you.
He's seen it one time, but it really left an impression.
Hell yeah.
it'd be a lot bigger than Lake Michigan. I'm trying to think of it's probably more like the Red Sea. It's huge, right? It's pretty much like an entire body of water. But you can it's not like an ocean where you're like Lake Michigan is big, yes, but it's not as big as the Red Sea.
An entire body of water.
Yeah.
Tell that to
Wow. That's a lot of water.
How well do we
All you
understand the
Michigans.
pattern of the sun?
I don't know.
Okay.
You can roll a history if you want to understand
Or just like
the
how the
world.
like where the sun moves in the sky in this time of year.
It does settle in the northwest side at this time of the year. So typically it's on that horizon area. And
Because it's morning still right now.
yeah, so it is in the east at this point, the southeast pretty much, as it it's here and coming back over to you guys. But yeah, that's the pattern. In this world, there's also 2 moons, and that's why there was a solar eclipse like a week ago. They're pretty common, but what's not common is
my eyes hurt.
all of them aligning. The big moon and the small moon. It's there's a bigger moon and a smaller moon in this world, and at the start of the year, it's a big celebration where they all align at one point. It's how the years are calculated is when the big moon, the small moon eclipses into the big moon then eclipses into the sun as well. So it's like they all 3 line up at the same time is the start of the year. In this time of year, though, you just see the sun and the 2 moons are in the air. You see 1 moon constantly. At this point, you see the bigger moon is settling, and the smaller moon is now rising into the setting.
Okay, because basically all I wanted to do was just like kind of look at where the sun is and where I think it's gonna sunset, and just like point in that general direction and be like, I think we should go that way.
Head that way.
I think that's where sunset will be, and that's where we saw the weird stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like rowing. I'm assuming he's
just
like
rowing.
one of the row people. He's like, okay, whatever you say, Captain. But he's like referring to Raven, not to Captain. Like, Raven's our captain right now.
Captain Urge just at the front of the boat, like Captain Morgan, just
the nautical
the
captain.
boat. It's like
the boat
it's
is
like George Washington crossing the Delaware. It's just like, I'm doing all these things, and it's like, okay, like I'm rowing the boat.
So I made a nice morning cocktail for show, and I'm just essentially feeding
It's
it
like
to him.
the classic, like okay, it's like Gatorade on the Oh my God, Raven, you just coming through with these drinks always.
Nice. So
Gotta be
you're
good for
keeping them
something.
up, and you are rowing what feels like hours. I mean, it's like the middle of the day. You guys feel like you've gotten nowhere pretty much throughout. I'm gonna say like 6 to 8 hours of you rowing. You get to a point where you're pretty tired, and you're sick of rowing. I don't know if you've been on a boat for longer than a few hours, but it's that feeling where you're like, all right, fuck this. I don't want to be on this boat anymore. Like it's like when you're fishing all day and you've caught like nothing, right? And you're just on the water, and it feels kind of peaceful, but you're like, okay, I'm over this. You get to that point. You're now in the middle of the lake. You look out into all the directions. And what do you guys do? Actually, I'll give you guys the option. What do you guys do as you're kind of in the middle of the lake? You can no longer see shore anywhere. You've rowed that far into the lake.
So I think Tydox would have been this like whole little journey would have been trying to find a moment to talk to Sho, because he has spent the last night working on the 2 rings. So I don't know if we want to role play the whole thing, but essentially Tydox. So Sho, I want you to know that I heard what you were telling me, and I have calculated out a way to try to prevent that from happening again. And he like has the 2 rings, and one of them is he changed his infusions, so we no longer have a bag of holding, but we do have the tattoos that the infusion wasn't working correctly on the page, but we have absorb elements in a ring, single use, and then a create and destroy water single use in 2 of the rings. He didn't do anything with the shield or the other ring. He just had time for the 2 little things that he wanted to give to Sho as a gesture of, I can't guarantee that's not going to happen again, but if something does happen to you, you have absorb elements, so you could use it.
Sweet.
Oh, well, thanks, Tydox. I appreciate it. Overall, though, please don't light me on fire. But I appreciate that if you did light me on fire again. At least I can do something about it.
The fire is noted, so hopefully if you ever ask, because that you could always get a little bit lit on fire and then use it in an attack or something if somebody was really in your face, but
I'll
that's
let
just
you
the one
know
type
if I want to get lit on fire, because you never know, it could happen. I think Sheldon probably after this 6-hour mark is probably just exhausted, and he's been I imagine he's probably been rowing this whole time being like, no, I got this, and then now it's we're 6 miles out and he's just like, fuck this, and so I think he probably would have just been like, I'm taking a break, and I think he would have just stood up and jumped in the water and been like, I gotta cool off.
Nice. All right, hops into the water.
And some horrible monster is probably gonna be like,
That's right in the middle of fucking nowhere. He's just like,
yeah, he's like,
Yes.
I don't give a fuck, I'm hot.
Just remember you said that.
let's roll a
What?
D100 to see how shit this turns out.
I just want to point out, like, the moment that Sho went in the water, Captain Earth probably like he hasn't drawn his blade, but he's got his hand like close by, like he's ready, because he obviously but he's not sure if it was real or not, or if he was just seeing things. So he's just kind of keeping an eye on his surroundings.
I think Shell is probably like kind of just like laying there and he's like, what you gonna do with that sword, Captain? You gonna start battling with it? Why are you gonna start doing something? Like Shell's like just thinking it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Anybody else jump in or do anything? Are you guys just at this point your rower has stopped rowing, so you're kind of just letting the water take you wherever you go.
I guess I will ask. Wait, any of you guys see a donkey yesterday?
Not to my knowledge. Where did you see him at?
Saw him at the market.
Market,
Seemed
eh?
a little familiar. You know, I smelled some. Seemed like trouble. I got out of there. You don't get to be random without detecting trouble a mile away.
I mean, knowing how elusive you are with sneaking men into your room, I bet so.
Nothing catches Raymond unexpected. That's for sure.
Well,
No man is too secret.
should we be worried about the donkey?
Maybe.
I think Shell like kind of like goes up to the boat and he's like kind of leaning on it and he's like, what? So you think like the donkey's following you around? You got a secret admirer? You're just quite popular. You just got all these people.
Yeah. I'm just saying, just keep an eye out, my little tree. You know, it's trouble.
Okay.
Trouble for Randman is trouble for everyone.
Will do. Shell I think salutes and then like kind of goes back.
Raven's just chilling. It's been a minute since
yeah.
he's been on a boat, so he's just enjoying the waves, the rocking.
Yeah. I would say this is a good time to just continue to just talk about things. I mean, it's really peaceful. And then if you guys don't want to role play, I'll tell you guys kind of what happens. And then
So,
I'll fast forward.
Psydox, you and Show all good? You guys case to make up?
I mean, I did give him a ring, so hopefully, we don't light him on fire again. So hope that'll work. But I assume that, by my calculation, we have buried the hatchet, so to speak.
What about you, Show? How are you feeling about it?
Oh, she come back on the boat?
I'm like, no, I'm still like floating. I'm like, floating next to it.
Hey,
And
Show,
I
how
think-
you feel about
I
it?
think Show's like, we're all good. Like, what's a little bit of fire between friends? But don't light me on fire again. I want that to come across. Don't light me on fire again. Okay, thank you. But then also, Captain Earth, why did you let me keep on fire that whole time? Is another thing I've been pondering in my pool here. Show just goes back to that. But then I think he just would also be like, no, we're all good. I do think we gotta focus though on this mission before, we explode. But
What I want to know, Captain, is if I need you to make some ice cubes, are you good for it? Do you have that much control over your breath?
He coughs up with ice.
I don't.
Like a hairball. He's like,
And then, I think what I'm gonna do is, Captain Earth would like to bend down and scoop out some of the water, and then kind of just like crush a little bit in his hand, and then just kind of like reach out to Raven, and then he could use
Show's
grab it.
like, oh, so you use it right now. But
You're the
it's
man,
pretty
Captain.
easy for you to do.
And then can I just freeze? since Show's in the water, I'm just gonna fucking just do an ice blast on Show.
Yeah, absolutely. You will use your breath weapon, but
That's fine. I'll use it. That's fine.
Show, will you roll a con saving throw?
Yeah.
This is great.
You
Like when I didn't say any words, I just gently make some ice cubes for and go and just flash Show.
Not a natural one.
Ert, will you roll 2d6?
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Max is
all right.
gonna-
2D.
I want to know what happened so bad.
Raven's just sipping a Long Island iced tea over here with
I know.
his fresh ice cubes.
You guys are just in a nice, peaceful,
All right, I was at 2 and 6, so 8.
You take 8 points of
Shit.
cold damage. So, do you feel the water around you? You know when you like pee in the pool and it gets like warmer? The pool itself gets really cold as you're just like laying there and you're like, did I do this? Like, I mean, the water was like already cold, but you're like, oh god, it's like really cold. Like, oh god, it's so cold. And your whole body just starts to shiver, and you're like, fuck, what's happening here? You know?
I think like immediately like Show is just like starts climbing out of the water and he just like glares at Captainer and he's like, "You're back on my shit list again. Like you just made your way out. Now you're back in."
No.
I think Tydox would have been like, because he's gonna be a smartass a little bit.
Archie, can you grab the torch? Not a fan of fire, but this might be an exception. What do you think, Show?
You see, Archie, fucking the welder's mask goes down, and he just fucking has a blowtorch, and he's just sitting there.
No, I think I'm good, Archie. Just let me get hypothermia and die finally.
It's funny.
As you guys are continually just having this like peaceful moment, I mean, you guys have kind of calmed down for a little bit, you know, bickering back and forth. You guys have all kind of stopped paying attention to the surrounding area around you. At this point, you guys start to feel the current shift. I mean, you have been going kind of in one direction the whole time, but you slowly begin to realize that you're now moving in a circle. And the circle just continues to go and go and go.
I get a little dizzy. It just seems like we're just kind of going around and around.
Is it going? Are we going slower? Is it like?
You guys have basically begun to basically enter into like a whirlpool.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're on
You can-
the edge of it, where you start to feel it. It's slow right now, but you're like a few spins in before you really start to notice that, oh shit, we're no longer going straight with the current.
Yeah.
Now the current's starting to spin at this point. So you're like 3 or 4 spins in before it really begins to dawn on you that.
We're in a
So
whirlpool.
you're starting to pick up speed. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Oh boy.
Show probably is picking up the oars and trying to like straighten out and like paddle out, I guess.
Is
Alright.
there more than like one oar, or does it show the?
There's 2 oars within this thing, so it's kind of like the classic ones.
rowboat.
Yeah.
Are rowing.
Then I would
Think-
probably
Remember-
realize after realizing is like, crap. I think we're in a whirlpool, and then I would probably try and hop on and Show.
So strange thing.
Raymond
All right.
will help too. He's at the back, just like patting his
Just, like,
hands in
Adding the water. Yeah. So I'll let one of you guys make the roll, and you can choose how
Go
you
ahead,
are helping them. Show, could you roll me a dexterity saving throw? And since Captainer and Raymond are helping you, you can roll this one with advantage.
Okay.
I
I see.
don't know how much I'm
Right?
helping here.
Yep.
So the first one was a 7 total, and the second one is a 17 total.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to describe what's happening. All right. As you guys are trying
Slingshot
to
maneuver.
bail out of the whirlpool takes you, and it begins to start getting harder and harder as you guys are trying to go. The whirlpool gets faster and faster, and as you guys go, your boat crashes into a something. Right, you're in the middle of the lake, and it feels weird that for some reason your boat has hit some sort of rock or tree or some sort of thing. It crashes into the middle of this whirlpool as it continues to go up and up and up. As you guys go, you slowly start to realize that your oars are no longer paddling in the water. You're now in the air as you're going. Raymond, your hands are in the water. You start to realize as you're looking down that there's no water anymore as you're going. You see the water continue to get further and further away from you.
Just cuddling in air.
As you guys continue to develop into this scene, you realize that you're in a tree. And now you continue to climb up and up and up in the boat as this tree begins to emerge out of the water.
It's not an invisible tree, right? It's like
You see it. You start to see that,
Okay.
yes,
I was making
that
sure.
there's a tree. You start to see rocks. You begin to see the water kind of start to fall on top of this thing as you guys feel like you're now raising into the air. And as you guys continue to climb into the air, you guys begin to see an island has now begun to form underneath you.
Island boys.
And that is where we will end today's session. As you guys have begun to fly into the air, you guys are now about 60 feet up into the air as a small island has formed above you guys. And you guys are at the top. And we'll find out where you guys are next time. Thank you guys for joining us today in this quick and easy session. So glad you guys are here. Go ahead and say goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
I'm Captain